On May 2, 2011, a decade-long manhunt ended in 38 minutes. A team of U.S. Navy SEALs carried out a surgical raid to eliminate the most wanted man on Earth. Osama bin Laden lived in a concrete, high-walled compound in the middle of a quiet suburban neighborhood in Abbottabad, Pakistan. This ending stands at odds with his origins. Bin Laden was the 17th of 57 children born to a Saudi construction magnate. He was the heir to a massive infrastructure empire that built the palaces of the Middle East. Analysts looking past the assumption of religious insanity find evidence of a man driven by cold, calculating ambition. The Millen Inventory of Diagnostic Criteria, a clinical profiling framework, classifies bin Laden with two primary patterns: ambitious, exploitative, and dauntless, dissenting. He was a clinical narcissist with a savior complex. He weaponized his business acumen and family fortune to engineer a highly structured global terror franchise. The 1979 Soviet invasion of Afghanistan provided the stage for bin Laden's dauntless psychological traits to take hold. Upon his arrival in the region, he focused his efforts on finance and organization. He used his inherited wealth to supply money and construction equipment to the local resistance. Working with his mentor, Abdullah Azzam, bin Laden co-founded the Maktab al-Khidmat, or MAK. It served as a center for recruiting thousands of Muslim volunteers and collecting global donations. Bin Laden imported heavy construction machinery from the Saudi Bin Laden Group. He oversaw the construction of massive tunnel complexes and mountain fortifications used as hospitals and weapons depots. He watched as a determined insurgency of guerrilla fighters used asymmetric warfare to bleed out the resources and will of a global superpower. The eventual Soviet retreat validated his narcissism. It convinced him that he was uniquely destined to lead the Muslim world against the next great power. After the war, an ideological schism emerged. Azzam wanted to focus on building an Islamist government in Afghanistan, while bin Laden's ambition demanded a permanent, global network. In November 1989, Azzam was killed by a car bomb in Peshawar. His death removed the final obstacle to bin Laden's total control over the organization. Bin Laden moved quickly to take control of the MAK. He rebranded the existing network of fighters and supporters as his personal vanguard, Al-Qaeda, or the base. He surrounded himself with radicals who fed his vision, specifically the Egyptian physician Ayman al-Zawahiri. Together, they agreed to use bin Laden's wealth and Zawahiri's experience to move their cause beyond Afghanistan. Bin Laden absorbed the established infrastructure and manpower of others. He weaponized a movement he did not start, turning it into a tool for his own global ambitions. In 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. Bin Laden met with Saudi officials, offering to defend the kingdom with a force of 10,000 Mujahideen veterans. The Saudi royal family rejected his proposal. Instead, the kingdom invited 500,000 U.S. troops to defend their territory. Bin Laden viewed the presence of non-Muslim forces in the land of the two holy places as a personal and religious betrayal. His public denunciation of the decision led to house arrest and eventual exile in Sudan. His wounded narcissism turned his focus violently against his own homeland and the West. In Sudan, he operated as a CEO, establishing agricultural and construction firms. These legitimate businesses formed a dark finance network used to launder money, move equipment, and provide cover for paramilitary training camps hidden on remote farms. By the mid-1990s, Al-Qaeda was operating with the logistical complexity of a multinational firm. Bin Laden used his business infrastructure to secure tax exemptions and move funds across borders, mirroring the global trade systems he sought to destroy. In 1996, Sudan expelled bin Laden under international pressure. Stripped of his citizenship and corporate fronts, he was forced back to the caves of Afghanistan. From this base, he issued his first personal communique, urging all Muslims to join his fight. He transformed his organizational structure into a purely destructive force, declaring war on the United States. He utilized a financial network known as the Golden Chain to fund coordinated strikes. In 1998, Al-Qaeda carried out the U.S. embassy bombings in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, killing hundreds. He continued to target hard military interests, executing the 2000 attack on the USS Cole in Yemen. This decade of corporate-style money laundering and logistical planning culminated in the September 11th attacks. Behind the innovation in modern warfare was a man who relied on systems as much as ideology. Osama bin Laden was a ruthless executive who created a lethal blueprint for franchise terrorism. His model continues to shape global security. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dive dossiers on the figures who shaped the modern world.